Grampa's Café in Dania.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon and happy Wednesday, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox with Jeff Defo DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz. We're all in our places with bright, shiny faces. And we're back for another day. We had a great day yesterday at Willie T's Seafood Shack with Neki Mohan, Visit Lauderdale. And we missed you yesterday, Defo. I'm going to ask you an open-ended question, and I'm going to let you answer as fully as you want. How are you doing this today? And generally, just how do you feel about your place in the world, the universe, and your general overall constitution at this moment in time?
I'm good and happy to be a part of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Looked like you guys had a good time yesterday.
Yeah, we did. And you know what? I come today with a peace offering, of peace and reconciliation, because Defo, I know, we went at it a little bit on Monday. My nerves were a little frayed for various reasons that I'm going to get into later in the show. But you're right. Sometimes I am judgmental and I am condescending and I make faces. And I realize you mentioned Hormel chili, and almost like reflexively, I just poo-pooed it because let's face it, I think I may have had it about 20, 25, maybe 30 years ago, maybe in a drunken stupor, maybe in college. We didn't have vending machines that dispensed it at Tufts, but, I haven't tasted the stuff in a long time. And I said, before I start taking a dump all over Hormel chili,
You'll be taking one after, that's for sure. I don't know that you want to do this, Michael. I mean, you don't have to go this far. I wasn't really that upset about the whole thing there. It just seemed to be getting a little bit edgy. Over nothing. I mean, you're arguing whether to order the cheesecake at a Mexican restaurant. It's not like we're deciding whether to send nuclear weapons to the Ukraine or not here on the show. So we're talking about food, but I wouldn't do it. I would say, please.
Exactly. Dean was like, don't do it.
I would not do that.
No, here's what I want to do. Well, first of all, I just thought of you because
and if you're going to eat it cold, even worse.
No. I wanted to do this properly. I wanted to give it a proper taste assessment. So out of respect for everybody involved, especially our viewers, I wasn't going to just open it and eat it cold out of the can. I actually warmed it up on the stove.
It looks particularly disgusting when you take it out of the can. It does. No,
and I wanted to first taste it just plain straight up. Okay. And then I have my accoutrements. I have some shredded 4 Mexican cheese.
You might need some hot sauce, yeah.
I have a bottle of, look at the kind of hot sauce I got. They can't read it backwards, but it's the Wicked Cheesesteak Cayenne sauce.
That is excellent, by the way. And I've had a bottle of that, and I went through it very quickly. It's that good.
So in the spirit of peace and reconciliation,
all right, here we go.
I am now going to give a live taste critique of the Hormel canned. And this, they got several varieties now, Defo.
Oh,
this one that I opened up and I heated.
Which one has the rat meat in it? I mean, where's wine sear?
Exactly.
This is the Angus beef chili with beans.
Ooh, Angus beef.
Okay, Angus beef. I went classy. I want to give them, every opportunity. Now, I also went a little crazy, and at a later date, not today, I also got the no beans Hormel chili, and we're gonna do a taste test of the no bean.
I'm not sure the no bean would be
versus the
favorite.
Skyline no bean
taste chili
versus the steak and shake chili with beans. We're gonna do this another day. I just wanted to that
would be a little overwhelming in one day.
But right now, here we go. I am going.
All right, here we go. Let's give it a shot here.
Hormel beef chili with beans.
No flavoring added. Nothing added. Just as is.
Just look at this.
And
I love his face.
You have to say it's not terrible.
Look at his face.
Maybe not so great, huh?
But even good chili, I still add stuff to it. When do you eat chili with nothing added to it?
Now the thing is, I'm not going to call it hot garbage. It's better than. Now I'm not going to say it's better than Skyline because I like Skyline's flavor profile. Not everybody does with the cinnamon.
But it's not chili. We've been through that.
He agrees it's not chili.
Well, I don't know quite what this is because there is meat-like substance in here.
Yes.
I don't know how it gets.
You don't want to examine
it.
You just want to eat it. Yeah. If you're drunk enough,
if I want to eat
it.
Yeah. I might want to examine it more than I want to eat it.
I mean, you might have to take it to a
making a face because the sauce.
I didn't say. I never said it was good, Mike. I mean, I never claimed it was good. I just said it was a go-to staple of Chili's because it was available, and it was there in a can. And then if you had a can of Sterno, you could heat it up in your room, which always was not necessarily a recommended thing, especially if you were smoking a lot of weed back in the day.
Yeah, it's got a little kick to it,
yeah.
But I have added the wicked cheesesteak cayenne sauce, and we are going to be.
I think that's going to be an immense improvement, and you should throw some onions in there also.
Onions, cheese,
chop
crackers.
Up the onion. I didn't want to overwhelm the whole flavor profile. I'm going to sprinkle in a little.
I think about the amount of cheese that they throw in that Skyline chili.
They cover it with a mountain, a blanket.
It's not exactly straight up.
That's an avalanche of cheese. Right. I am going to put a nice mild coating here, and I don't know if you can see if people.
No, it looks good. Yeah, mix that up.
Yeah. I'm going to kind of mix it up.
You might want to put that on a cracker, man.
I was gonna say, where are the crackers? Yeah. Like, you need to do a whole thing to chili. That's the thing is, I never eat chili. Just eat chili. Like, you usually do a whole bunch of stuff to it.
You could put it on the tortilla chips.
If you were forced to eat this like it was prison food and you were locked away for about 3 years, would you not look forward to the Hormel night as opposed to maybe some of the other nights that they were offering?
The porridge.
Yeah. Compared to prison loaf of like that substance of
spam.
Bread.
Yeah, they have the spam. They give you.
All right. So I'm not going to say that I like it. I am going to say that I can tolerate it. And
that's about all you want from that.
Yeah, what are you expecting from that?
Yeah.
I would rather open up my can of Skyline chili and dump it on top of a nice mountain of spaghetti and throw a little hot sauce, the wicked cayenne sauce, and some cheese.
But it's pretty easy to whip up a batch yourself. I mean, you don't have to really do much to get some decent chili. I mean, you go get some ground beef, kind of brown that up, put some onions in there, throw your taco mix or whatever, some hot sauce and onions and beans, and you've got it. And you don't even need the tomato sauce if you do that.
Joanne out there wants to see the beans. It looks like the kidney. What do you call it? Kidney pinto beans.
Yeah,
and they're.
I mean, it doesn't show well. It doesn't look like the Checkers ad. Let's put it.
I just got a chunk of the Angus beef, and let me tell you, it's not that good. It's like a chunk of ground beef, but only in a big hunk form.
What are you expecting?
We didn't say this was gourmet quality. I just asked if you had ever been on a steady diet of Hormel chili, which I have been.
I've had the no beans on hot dogs. I'm not going to lie. The no beans one on hot dogs makes a good chili cheese dog. I've never just eaten it. It looks like dog food if you just ate it. Like it does.
Some say dog food. Some people in the group go even further and say doggy diet. No, I'm not even going to go.
I don't know that I would feed it to my dog. I mean, it reminds me of the blues song. You wouldn't treat a dog the way you treated me. You wouldn't feed it Hormel chili either. I mean, that would be very suspect. I would think any veterinarian with it's worth his or her shingle would not recommend that you give Hormel chili to a dog.
No, and you.
But it was right up there. I mean, see, the choice was this: it was either the Hormel chili or the Dinty Moore beef stew. Dinty Moore beef stew. I don't know if you're familiar with that product.
You know what?
Saw it in Walmart. It still exists.
Yeah,
I went to, I actually took a walk this morning. My daughter took my car because it's SAT test day and a little bit different school hours today. She was getting out right now as the show started.
She wasn't nervous about this?
She didn't take the SATs?
Well, she did. She took the SATs this morning. This is her first crack at the SAT. She did the PSAT. And, it's from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. We're going out for lunch after the show to celebrate. I'm sure she
Did you tell her just to make a line through the D column? So she had a good shot of getting at least 25% of the score? No?
That would be the Defo method.
That's kind of what I did.
Yeah.
It's a little hard to qualify
Syracuse.
for some of these schools, their standards had to be very, very low. Plus, I had a big overhand curveball, so that was good. That helped. Yeah.
So no, she took the car. I let her borrow the car, and I had to walk. I had a nice breakfast meeting this morning in Dania Beach. The Fish Grill is a place you don't think of
Oh, yeah.
usually as a breakfast joint, but they are open for breakfast. It's right
Wow.
there on Federal Highway. They had a very nice breakfast deal. $7.99 got you 2 eggs scrambled, and we added cheese, our choice of bacon or sausage, and 2 flapjacks, 2 little pancakes. So
That's a lot of food for $7. Yeah.
was good. I didn't eat the pancakes. I'm trying to go a little bit low carb, and I brought them home from Mom. She'll have them for breakfast tomorrow. Nice. And but I met with a guy, Jeff Hansen. Also, man, that chili is coming back with a vengeance already.
I told you not to do it.
I told you not to do it.
You didn't have to go that far.
No, I wanted in the spirit of just fairness. And not, I speak out of turn sometimes. I speak too much sometimes, and I just wanted to come back humbly. The day of the 1st of March.
Vicious attack that particular day, as I recall. Yeah, and, it was out of character. It really was. You're a nice guy.
I don't know if I would characterize it as a vicious attack. You got me. You managed to push my buttons sometimes.
But with no intention. I was talking about an item on a menu, right? Like if you ordered the chicken at a steakhouse, I don't want to get back into it.
I don't know why. I perceived it as being a little bit of a passive aggressive, where you just sat there nonchalant and then just was pushing buttons. It was like, I don't want to say and revisit any kind of marital flashbacks, but I was going into serious flashback mode of prior.
Your wife.
And I do have to explain something. So
it did feel a little like my second marriage, where I would say hello and she would say, "What the hell is that supposed to mean?" I'm saying hello. I mean, I don't know what it means. Does it have any deeper meaning? I don't think so. It's hello. How you doing? Shalom.
Oh man. So anyway, I'm in a much better place today. Monday was a little so
you must have come into some money or something. What happened to you?
No,
you settled that thing finally. You got the
the paperwork is filed. I haven't gotten the check yet. That's going to be and this just shows you the ups and downs of life. I was in litigation with my insurance company for a long time. We were heading for a trial date in May. We were going to mediation. There was going to be all kinds of what do they call it? The depositions, interrogations, all this stuff. It's just a lot of stress. So
did your roof really cave in, Mr. Mayo? Yeah, there's a hole.
I had I did all these expensive fixes out of pocket,
nice.
And the insurance company seems to make up their own rules and laws, even though the state law says one thing. And look, very nice to say that because of, I don't know why. I think, my point of view is that they mishandled things from start to finish. I don't know. I was willing to go to a jury and argue my case. My lawyers thought we had a good case. And lo and behold, the day before mediation, they come in with a settlement offer that was more than generous and
nice.
More than fair. And I agreed to it. It's been filed with the court. Supposedly, the money will be sent within 30 days. So that's a good thing.
Nice.
And that it's always good to have a little bit of financial stress alleviated. But then, life throws curves. At the end of the show, I always sign off with "Enjoy every sandwich." Do you know where that comes from, Defo?
I think you told me once, but to tell you the truth, I forgot. It's some play or some Shakespearean thing. What is it?
No, not Shakespearean, but good guess. No, "Enjoy every sandwich" is my sign-off line for a reason, because it was a quote from an interview that David Letterman did with Warren Zevon, the great talented musician.
Yeah.
Okay, Warren Zevon was dying of cancer, and he made his last appearance, last television appearance, and last kind of interview was with Letterman on his show. And Letterman just asked, facing what you are now, do you have any advice? What have you learned in life? And he says, I would just say to enjoy every sandwich.
Oh, wow.
And actually after Warren Zevon passed, a whole bunch of musicians made a tribute album recording covers of his music, and they titled the album "Enjoy Every Sandwich," the music of Warren Zevon. And I just think it's an ethos of, look, I lost a brother at a young age to cancer. He was 50, David, when he passed, and that hurts. And David enjoyed eating corned beef sandwiches at our local deli all the time. And I just think it boils down life to you never know what one day is going to bring to the next. Enjoy every moment. be present. And me, and when it relates to food, enjoy every sandwich or whatever you have in front of you.
This represents a real epiphany on your part. Where were you walking today?
Where did you
And what
go?
were you smoking while you were walking?
Well, I walked to
Obviously,
the
you
fish
didn't bring
grill.
your phone because you didn't
San
talk to
Francisco?
Dixie.
No, and actually, this is the other thing. For Lent, I said I'm forsaking alcohol, and
well,
I
and that
have,
was another thing.
Already-
That's why I
no,
didn't take this
and I've
that
been
seriously. Yeah.
sober for a week, no substances of any kind. I've
Oh,
been
geez.
sick. I'm feeling much better. I'm not coughing, and
Therein lies the problem. Yeah.
now I make an active choice to be sober. But anyway, the enjoy every sandwich thing. Again, you never know what life's going to bring.
Yeah.
And I'm reminded of it because I did suffer a loss over the last week. A dear friend of mine, my poker friend Sean, who had amazing success the last couple of years. He's my buddy who would show up to some of our Lunchbox remotes. He came out to even Keel a couple
Good guy,
times.
very nice
He's
man.
a
And I
really
can't
good-
believe I'm talking about him in the past tense.
Wow.
He played a multi-day tournament at the Hard Rock on Thursday. He made it through to day 2 with 240,000 chips. He bagged 240,000 chips on Thursday, coming back on Sunday with a chance to win a grand prize of 70,000. And he loved poker. He was doing some other business ventures because he had a big score a couple of years ago up in Tampa. He turned $500 into $200,000. He really stepped up his game, and he was a nice guy. I knew his parents. His dad passed a few years ago. He was a big figure in the local Muslim community, and basically, Sean introduced me to his dad when I was a news columnist, and I would do some, work with the local Muslim community after 9/11 and some of the other things. And anyway, Sean played the tournament last Thursday, and apparently went home. And sometime that night, he had some sort of major catastrophic event, a heart attack or something, and he died in his sleep at age 48. He lived in a house with his mom, but his mom has been sick and was up in Orlando. And I'm sharing all these details because I've been now in touch with. He left behind an 18-year-old daughter who's in college now, out of town, and I was in touch with the mother of Sean's daughter, and they're not married. But I was able to, have some communication with her, and everybody's devastated and heartbroken. And it just goes to show you that, this is a guy, Sean. He was a good eater. He turned me on to some good places. He was the one who told me about Hong's Barbecue, which is now one of my favorite Chinese restaurants. His hangout spot was Tropics Lounge on Pines Boulevard, which is a Guyanese place. Sean's family was Guyanese from, by way of India. There was a bunch of immigrants that went to Guyana to do kind of, I think it started off as slave labor or indentured servitude. It's all these fascinating histories of entwining different continents. But anyway, Sean turned me on to Tropics, and that was the place with great rice and kind of some Chinese Caribbean cuisine and great lamb chops. And he was a good eater. He was a good friend of mine. He was a generous soul. And now he's gone. And it's just one more reminder that you do have to enjoy every sandwich. You don't know what every day will bring. And, and it is, as much as we kibitz and talk and go back and forth here, we do share a love and appreciation for each other. Some days more than others, but
who, us? What are you talking about? Now you're getting carried away.
Yeah, I'm getting carried away.
I mean, the tribute was brilliant, and the guy deserved it. He was a very nice man. He's one of those guys that when you meet him right away, you like the guy, and that's always a good sign.
You might not like him so much at a poker table because he was ruthless. That's he projected this image, and he would just go all in. He had these kind of bully moves, and
he was very successful. Though. I mean, it worked. He was aggressive.
It works. Yes, and that's poker is a game of aggression, but away from the table, a complete different person.
Yeah, he seemed like a real teddy bear type of a guy, and very, very welcoming. And the minute I met him, I thought, wow, really a good guy. How does Mayo have such nice friends? And and then he was very successful, but he was humble about it, and he was persisting in doing what he loved. It's a shame that happened. That was weird the way you told the story that the people just missed him, and then somebody called and the cops went to his place. I think the same thing happened when my former broadcasting partner Sonny Hirsch checked out years ago. That he missed like something, and it was very uncommon. He was always there, like hours ahead of time. And somebody called and said, hey, anybody seen Sonny? And they went to his place, and he lived by himself, and he had, I guess, a heart attack during the night. And that was that. Roll to 7.
Yeah, it's kind of everybody who lives alone's worst nightmare that you just like, that
I don't live alone, and it's still my worst nightmare that I'm going to collapse.
Yeah,
bed and not wake up.
Hey, you know what? It's a wake up call to me. Since then, I'm walking.
You're on a wagon or something. I mean, you're unbelievable. Walking, not eating. That fried food you had in front of you yesterday. That looked.
I had a little bit. That was pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, it was not exactly dietetic. I would say.
Oh, but he only ate the lobster roll. Lobster.
Oh, wow.
He didn't eat the bread. He didn't.
I'm trying to cut back on the carbs.
You took the lobster off the roll?
Yes.
Yeah, I was eating it with a fork.
Lobster.
And I had one of the fried shrimp, one of the grilled shrimp. Those big boys were unbelievable.
Those were amazing.
And my other poker
It sounds
buddy,
more like you need an intervention, though. Yeah, I think you're losing it. I do. I mean, you can't take the lobster off the lobster roll. That's the whole purpose of a lobster roll, is to have the roll.
You could, you could play around and not have to. You don't have to gorge on everything. Now tomorrow we'll be at Wicked Cheesesteaks, and I will be eating the rolls because Brian is working on the new. I think he might kind of name it in my honor, but I always say that forget cheesesteaks. My favorite sandwich from the Philadelphia area is the roasted pork with provolone cheese and broccoli rabe sandwich. You don't see a lot of them.
Is that called something specifically, or is it called
not anymore? But at Wicked Cheesesteaks, it might soon be called the or Philly porky sandwich, or maybe
shouldn't it just be the Mayo? I mean, would people misunderstand that it was not all about mayonnaise? Yeah.
Here's the problem with that, because
you're popular enough though with the restaurant crowd that they would know, hey, that's named after Mike Mayo.
Or the Mike Mayo.
You call something the Mayo, and people think it's covered and splayed with mayonnaise. So I don't want to cause any brand confusion. I would just call it the MM. I would call it the MM, and people, I don't need full billing and have my name and lights. Just call it the MM. Pork Philly or Philly porky or whatever you want to call
Philly
it.
Pork sandwich. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. And it's going to happen tomorrow? Yeah, I mean, you said you had a little sample of it.
I sampled it last weekend when I went there with my friend Bonnie, and tomorrow he's going to be offering us a couple different varieties. He had it last weekend on a soft hoagie roll, the kind that you like, the kind that people who are, sometimes gum their food or have some sort of dentures and things like that don't like the hard, crusty bread.
Well, see, and I thought I gave you a little, insight into that. Where we were when we were in Atlantic City, my friend goes to White House Subs, great, and known for the bread. The bread is like a giant thing there, a big consideration, but a couple of hours later, the bread was hard as a rock. It started out originally hard, and then later it was almost inedible, even though the sandwich itself was great. So the softer roll preserves better also.
Okay, no. And we're going to do a taste test tomorrow. He's going to have one hard roll. And Brian is a commercial baker who makes all kinds of breads and all kinds of textures. And we were having a discussion on Saturday about some bread is too hard. And it then the thing you squeeze.
I mean, if you get it away, fine. But then, like I said, a couple of hours later, this Italian, I mean, the bread was like eating a brick.
Yeah,
and it's supposed to be great.
There's a balance, and we're going to sample a couple different varieties. And what I told him is, it's always great to offer people choice. I said, put this sandwich on the menu and then offer it with a choice of either the soft hoagie roll or a little bit firmer Italian bread. And we'll see. We're going to be there tomorrow. He's going to present us the finished product. I think you're going to like it. And then of course you could also get a lobster roll there and eat it with the bun. Yesterday's version was a little different because it was
I have to witness this personally. I know Lubie claims that you did this, but I have to see you pick the lobster off a lobster roll and leave the bun sitting there. I mean, I'm not sure that I can believe that.
It was the spirit of Nikki Mohan. She is so she likes to
Mohan shames you into doing different things.
She does it in such a classy way. I even watched back some of the little reel that Lubie put on Instagram, and you can tell she's a TV veteran because she takes it with the fork, the way she puts it in her mouth, very elegantly, and she's continuously sampling the different things, but doing it in a way that brings honor and dignity to Lunchbox. Whereas me, I was dribbling coleslaw on the floor. I was apologizing to Mr. Thompson.
Everything you can do to degrade the show, you've attempted here, including starting with Hormel chili, and then obviously it's impacting your digestion and digestive tract during the show.
Now,
please don't get ill. Please.
Now, my personal, I'm not. No, you know what? Because I'm going out for a proper lunch with my daughter after the show. I am just I wanted to do that just to kind of give the critique. And now I could say
she's going to be seeing bugs though after taking the SATs.
Oh, what's that?
She's not going to be herself. I mean, that test it boggles your mind.
No, I'll let her have a drink, and I'll see.
You're thinking I'll never get into a college after you take that test.
It's it is very stressful, especially now, like these
reading comprehension, all of that. Yeah, forget about it.
And these college advisors, they have all these charts and graphs of like they reduce every student to a dot, and they show you a dot on a graph of like, oh, if you try to get into this school, here you are, and you're in the green zone of all the people who have the similar GPAs and test scores as you will either get in or not, or you won't.
You're on the bubble. It's like North Carolina in the NCAA
very,
tournament.
very, very stressful.
Sitting on a bubble.
And, I don't remember much about those years in my high school days. I know I was a high achieving student. I know I didn't even do any kind of studying or prep for the SAT.
Yeah.
I did well enough that not well enough to get into
school. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I did okay. Things seem different then. It's just so much more competitive now.
Well, it was different from you to me. And then supposedly from when I went to college to now, it's literally insane. Like these kids are scared from freshman year about getting into like freaking UCF. Like getting into any college supposedly is scary now.
Especially now, I'm scared too because I put her in the Florida prepaid program, and I want for the full 4 years tuition, and if she gets bright futures, that'll cover a good chunk of the books and the other things, and so we're aiming for a decent state school. She'd like to go to Florida State, but now Florida State is in the less than the Ivy Leagues used to be 10% acceptance rate. Harvard is now down to 4% acceptance, and like the UF is down to like 9 or 10% acceptance. I think like FSU is down to 18%. And this is even my daughter goes to one of these high achieving private schools. Yeah, I know I'm spending money on her because she's an only child, and whatever she wants, I want her to have the best, except the college education. I'm not paying $300,000. Do you know what UM is now? First year room and board and tuition. You know how much it goes for now, Defo?
I would say $150.
Oh, not that for 1 year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
No. 88,000. But you can do the math.
That's insane enough. Yeah,
90. It's like 350,000, and that's not factoring how they're going to.
Unless you're going to be, something really specific, like a doctor, something that requires this level of education. You're a very specific thing. You're much better off. The state school is fine. You come out of that just as well. And when my son was going to college, he went to UCF. All 5 years, and the tuition was nothing. I mean, I didn't pay the prepaid thing. If I had done that, it would have cost me $8 to send this kid to college. As it was like $2,500 a year, nothing for the tuition. So that was pretty good, but that's all changed.
Everything
it's become a lot harder to get in there. Yeah, UCF used to be the fishing net that the commercial fishermen put out there that trapped all the fish that managed to escape the regular fishing boats.
I'll be happy with
that's where everybody ended up that didn't get into FSU.
I want her to be happy wherever she ends up. We told her it's like as long as your head is in the game and you want to learn and college is there, you could get a good education at any school virtually if you're willing to put in the work. And whether it's FSU or UCF or even Tampa. I happen to like Tampa a lot. If she gets into the University of South Florida,
try the University of Phoenix. I think it's online. $35 a credit.
Try here. Look, the staying home thing. Look, I'm all about going to college for life experience, for actual education. It doesn't matter.
About Broward community. There you go.
My wife's doing as well as anyone I know in life. I mean, she literally ran the UM program. She ran it, and she went to UCF. Like she had Harvard dreams, but she wouldn't be any better served going to Harvard than going to UCF for what she ended up doing. That's the thing that they don't tell kids enough. And I went to college. I have a master's. I taught at the college level. Like my family's full of teachers. I'm all about education.
But you have a master's?
Yeah, I have a master's.
In what?
Don't embarrass him.
No. I'm just
because here we are doing this, and this guy's got a master's. You went to Tufts.
No, I got it for experience, and I got my master's.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting, or was it?
I couldn't have even gotten into that. Yeah.
And they paid for it, and I got paid because I taught.
That's great.
And I'm Mr. Education.
I didn't peg you as so erudite. That's amazing. That's great. I mean, you're a smart guy, but I get it.
What do you mean? He's dumb?
Everyone says that. But the thing is, I'm the
first one to
tell people, unless you want to be a doctor, lawyer, or something super specific, college is sort of a waste these days. Like to me, it's about life experience
Yeah.
You can
Well, it's learning how to think. It's learning how to learn on your own and how to question authority and how to question
What are
things
you
that are
talking
just.
about? It's 4 years of the greatest freedom you'll ever enjoy, and
I
the
love
only time you'll ever enjoy this in your life
And
with
drugs.
babes everywhere.
but that's it.
And
But
no
it's-
responsibility whatsoever except to occasionally read a Cliff Notes and go and pass a test. That's about it. Come on.
I had a great time in
That
college.
was the
'cause I
best
did
party of my life. I've never been able to duplicate that or replicate it.
I
Maybe for a
love
brief period of time in my 50s. But other than that, fantastic. I mean, what a run. It was
I loved it. It's
phenomenal.
just what it costs these days, and it doesn't guarantee you any better of a livelihood. Like,
Yeah,
that's
it
what
wouldn't
I
be
mean.
worth the money at that price. At 88,000,
If you're looking at it
year,
as a return on investment type thing, then no, you shouldn't be.
you'd be better off
spending
buying a
hundreds of
house for the
thousands of dollars.
320 and having a home. Way better off.
Well, there are studies that suggest that if you do get a college degree over the course of your life, your earning power will be substantially
No
higher
longer.
than
No,
without
at
one.
McDonald's,
No?
you're making $20 an hour, and on a regular job, you're lucky if they keep
And
you
the way
around for a year. Once they have to pay you a salary. Hey, I have something new to report on too, so we'll do that coming up.
Okay,
here.
well, let me.
Got a
We'll do a
second-hand
little
review here. Yeah,
Let me do my little.
you ought to
spiel
work in
for-
some stuff. Yeah, come on, Mike. Man.
Yeah, well, here we go. It's 12:30. We're having
Yeah.
a copacetic time tonight. I did have a question for you that I'll get to after the first break, but it's Wednesday, and you know what? It might be time to treat ourselves to a nice steak, good
Yes.
seafood dinner, something, maybe a drink at the bar. Not for me. I'll have the club soda for the next 40 days and maybe beyond. I'm kind of enjoying this feeling of being clear in my
let
head.
us know when you've come out of this, and we'll consider getting together again. I know we have to be together for some of these remotes, but why would he go out to eat with a guy who's going to drink club soda all night?
Defo prefers the mayo on the Bloody Marys, especially on.
I really do. I mean, for show purposes, definitely. And Lubie knows. Lubie will say the same thing. He'll back me on that one. I'd much rather have a Bloody Mary before the show than a Hormel chili. That's for sure. Although I appreciate the gesture. That says a lot about your character.
Look, I know enough to admit that sometimes I can go over the line. I can be a little condescending and judgmental,
a little dismissive here and there. Yeah,
What I will say
dismissive.
is, thank goodness for Tropical Acres, because you will not have to settle for Hormel chili.
Right. And it doesn't matter if Mike doesn't like what you ordered. You can order it anyway and go ahead and enjoy it because it's going to be good. It's on the menu.
I would say that like any place, it has its strong points, and but Tropical Acres, everything that you get there is gonna make you happy.
Yep.
And if it doesn't, just tell them, and they'll take it back and send you something that will.
I would think that rarely happens, though. I mean, I know they're willing to do it, but it's not a common occurrence. Because
What do you mean? When Sarnie did he get the scallops? I mean, even we sort of made a face in the sense that they had the lobster special, they had the filet mignon, they have the prime rib, and we're all like, "Really, Sarnie?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" And he ordered it, and he was as happy as the three of us. So,
yeah.
Oh yeah, and they do everything.
But then he did
well
eat
there.
half of your steak. No, it's all good.
It's all great at Tropical Acres. The value, the quality, the service, the Studiali family, they've been doing it a long time. Tropical Acres has been open since 1949. It is the place to go for a celebration or any occasion, especially a weeknight. You go to the bar 4:30 to 6:30. They have happy hour.
even if you're not
Half-price
drinking,
drinks.
they have
Even
great
if you're not drinking, you get those light bites, those sliders, those sirloin sliders for $5-6.
Right.
That's a great deal. Coconut shrimp, escargot.
I love
It
it.
does feel really classy. Bathed in garlic butter, $6 a plate. I mean, these things you can get at Tropical Acres at the bar for happy hour. Go in the dining room for the early bird from 4:30 to 5:30. You get extra goodies with your steak besides the usual salad and side dish. You can also get a soup, a dessert, a coffee, and a tea. You can't beat those deals. You can't beat that deal. I mean, it's just, I love it. I'll rave about it from now till the end of time. I enjoyed a couple of good meals there with my buddy Sean. We split a bottle of wine there. And when I am off the wagon again, I will be having one of those half-price bottles of wine on a Monday, Tuesday night. Might be coming soon.
You ought to order one anyway, just to have it on the table.
Have to pour out
Since it's only half price.
But you know where it is, 2500 Griffin Road, just west of 95 in the airport. Go to tropicalacres.com to see their upcoming events and specials. They have all kinds of singers and other entertainment. And also they have the butcher shop that's open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily, except Sunday. so you could get some of those great cut steaks to throw on the grill at home. Things like the filet mignon and some of the strip sirloins. They're also known for the prime rib, but that's only available in-house, slow roasted and so delicious. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
All right, a couple of places on Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach drawing rave reviews, relatively new and or brand new. And we can come back and talk about that on the Lunchbox in a moment.
Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all: Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Café Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Café Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent. We're back on the Lunchbox. It's a happy Wednesday, a happy hump day, and Defo is, I guess, chomping at the bit. I did have one question for you, and before I get to that question, a couple of sponsor notes. Pizza Spot.
Yeah, when are we going back there? What the heck?
We tell you that you have to go there, especially if you love pizza, whether you like the New Haven style or not. If you just like good pizza and good quality stuff, that's the place to go. But not this week because they're on their quarterly break.
All right.
Wade and Reese are away out of town, so they will be reopening a week from yesterday. It'll be on March 7th. that they reopened. So don't go there this week or weekend. You'll be greeted by a locked and empty establishment. But and then Seville, I don't know if you saw the other day. Again, these rave reviews on the Let's Eat South Florida group.
Oh no, people love it. Yeah, somebody had a picture of just an empty plate. And it looked like they had licked the plate.
Yeah,
There was,
and it was it was my favorite, the stuffed veal chop,
Right.
and I guess the he had a monkfish special. One of them took one for the team. The guy said, "I got the monkfish,"
Yeah.
and
I
the
know
wife
what is
got
monkfish. I mean, how does that distinguish itself?
It's actually one of the world's ugliest fishes, but has one of the great sweet meat, and when prepared properly, monkfish is a real delicacy. So he didn't take one.
It's rarely on menus, but it's supposed to be great.
But the wife got the stuffed veal chop, and that's when I feel like indulging, because he stuffs it with those 3 cheeses: the manchego, the mozzarella, and
It's another area we differ in, though, because I think the seafood is so spectacular at Seville that I always go there for that.
You are a health-minded individual.
No, but I love the way they do their seafood dishes are just phenomenal. I mean, no matter what you get,
everything there is great. Everything there is great, and I just love to see, because some people haven't discovered it. It's been there for a long time. I'm so glad that they're involved with the show. Joey's a great guy. He's one of us.
Is that horse going to win sometime soon, or are we going to have to pay more for the coffee at the end of the meal?
And the it's just good to see that place get the props that it richly deserves. My question for you: I told you about my sign off, enjoy every sandwich, the significance of that to me, that it is a ethos of life that you should enjoy every sandwich and every moment. You, at the end of your show in the mornings, play "Let's Go Get a Damn Snack." What is that?
Oh, that's from Rex Ryan.
That song?
Yeah. What we were looking for was just a series of weird, sounds that didn't really relate to each other. In fact, this was strange, because Lubie tells me that we can get an interview one day with Melanie. Remember the folk singer Melanie? And look what they've done to my song. That was her big song. So, I mean, she sounded, sometimes you talk to an older person that was in show business. So I had her do a thing. Look what they've done to my show. And that's part of it. And we put that together with Rex and some other stuff. But
the last line, let's go eat
a damn snack, was when Rex was on Hard Knocks, and Mike Westhoff actually stole the show because he cursed more than Rex, and we didn't know that. I mean, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes this like foul mouthed guy who was always, just a perfect gentleman anytime that we ever talked to him, and he's yelling and screaming at these players, and every other word is the F word, and Rex was really upset with his team. They had just done something atrocious out there on Sunday, really laid an egg, and he was giving them a lecture. And then at the end of it, instead of saying, "All right, let's go out there and kick some butt," or whatever, some reference like that, he goes, "Let's go get a damn snack."
I love that.
Yeah, okay, let's all go have a snack. Like, you see them getting a little cookie and some milk, like it was the third period at grade school.
Juice patch, juicy juice patch for Ethan Skolnick.
Yeah.
You know that that he is a scion, a descendant.
That's how he can afford to start this entrepreneurial enterprise and not worry about making money for 10 years. It's great. Yeah. No, we like that. But we just started something new at Scoop today, so we're hoping it goes well.
That's good. No, and I think we're going to get the Lunchbox involved too. We're going to do some quick hits about places to go and eat. And
I have some. I have a couple.
So now this brings us to, you said, and again, I see a couple of places now blowing up on the Let's Eat group.
Both getting very favorable reviews, these two places.
Which has the onion roll people. I want to get up
there. That's the place. It's called Bite Eatery, okay? And in the Bite Eatery, and Mustang was just there with a friend yesterday, the lovely Lynn Chase. And there are like 8 or 9 restaurants in there. Let's see. I have some that were listed. The Bite Hall.
It's a food hall concept.
The Deli Shack.
Where is it? It's on Atlantic and the
no.
As Rabbit Hole.
It's right next to the Rabbit Hole, which is weird because my understanding was that this place that's been under construction forever, it's like UCF, under construction forever, on the other side of the bridge and on the east side also, was supposedly going to be like a big food court. Time this place, Bite Eatery, opened up, and it is a food court of sorts, but has some excellent places, and everybody's raving about it, including what used to be the Onion Roll, now getting rave reviews as the Deli Shack.
Deli Shack.
I know that there's like an Italian place in there that is making this real authentic Italian, old school type of cooking, and so you wouldn't expect this kind of quality necessarily in a place that was essentially, a food court type of concept. So that's doing real well. And then there's an Italian place and market which is closer to the Cafe Max, closer to the Publix location there on Atlantic Boulevard. Rosito's drawing rave reviews from everybody. Rosito.
Oh, really? I thought you were going to talk about. There's a new seafood place called Flamingo.
Oh yeah,
Seafood
that's getting some
on
good reviews.
Atlantic?
Yes, for sure.
That's been getting also rave reviews, and that whole Atlantic corridor is blowing up. Besides our friend Ken, the professor, and the foundry.
Foundry's been busy.
And we got the Rabbit Hole and Sam doing the vegan thing there, and all those other places that have been around a million years. Cafe Max, God bless them. May they continue to prosper.
Yeah.
And and the new restaurant that's going to be opened by the Warren Thompson Mike Linder partnership, South Restaurant, is going to be a little bit further west towards the railroad tracks Dixie and 95.
Yeah,
and there's a
bit
little alcove
away.
back there. I'm going
that area, by the way,
a
has been really seriously redeveloped. I think they have like these craft breweries there that's real good, and they've been having concerts there once a month to try and generate some interest in the place.
I'm looking forward to that new South Restaurant because they invited me to kind of a pre-opening wine dinner that they're having in the middle of the month, and that's the one day I might make exception to my newfound sobriety.
What day of the week is that thing?
I don't know. That's a Wednesday or something.
Well, you want to find a way to get your.
We'll go on there and poach the wine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll see. I'll make.
My wife loves wine, and we know how this thing is by her wine.
All good. So no, that whole area is happening. I mean, seems like anything named Atlantic, whether it's Boulevard in Pompano or Atlantic Avenue in Delray, is just
Pompano was slow to respond. Though Pompano was the they had their image as the quiet fishing town as they build themselves in all of the brochures about the place. But no, at Atlantic Boulevard, it looked like it should be something that should be developed like it is finally being, and it looks like it's coming together nicely. But the Bite Eatery. Very popular, and they just put in like a ton of new apartments right around that same area. So I think they're going to prosper.
Redevelopment, commercial, and also residential. Yeah. It's all, I always got amused because in the newsroom or whatever, there would be stories about, Broward is built out. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Have you ever heard about knocking things down and then going up? And that's what's happening now all over these eastern corridors, especially in my neighborhood now. Dania Beach Boulevard is just one big construction zone, cranes, all these high-rise apartments and condos going up.
Really been
and
everybody wants to be here, Mike Mayo. Everybody wants to be here.
Yeah, except us. All the old timers are looking to get out.
I'm happy.
Where are we going to go?
I love it.
Are you?
Yeah. No, I couldn't be happier.
I'm pretty happy too. I get well fed.
But Mustang, talks about, with the homeowners association fees, this, that, and the other thing, we ought to move to like Port St. Lucie. I'm like, no, that's not happening in my lifetime. I would just as soon sell the joint and buy an RV and just travel around at that point. Then, move into a place where there's nothing going on. There's action here all the time. It's fantastic.
With all due respect, Defo, I could not see you living more than 5 to 10 miles away from any parimutuel.
Got to be some wagering, casino, restaurants. I mean, look, you're just here's a place with 8 restaurants inside. They have a taco joint. They have Papa's Pizza. They have a gelato place, The Lobster. Is supposedly really, really good. Beef boys, ceviche time. A lot of variety. A well put together place. The Deli Shack.
No. I always enjoy checking out these food halls. And I wonder, do they cannibalize the other local restaurants around, or do they bring more people in? My whole rising.
I think they bring people in. Yeah, it definitely is working there. Yeah, I mean, a lot of places they all seem to be prospering. So that's the nice thing.
That's good.
Yeah. Yep.
And I thought you were going to say that Flamingo Seafood because it seems like
I haven't been in there.
Some innovative dishes.
It was weird because the professor gave it kind of a tepid, semi thumbs down. But maybe he just had a bad experience because all the stuff on Let's Eat South Florida is saying that it's phenomenal. So
maybe people on Let's Eat South Florida don't know what they're talking about.
I don't know. I mean, maybe he just didn't like it. I mean, that's possible.
Usually when the consensus is running one way wildly in favor, I can tend to trust that. Yeah. I mean, it sounded like some of the things they were trying to do was like our friends over at Even Keel, Brad and Dave, like taking some, the seafood things and putting some, elevated spins.
They've been killing it, by the way, lately. I drive by there around 7:00 a couple of nights a week.
So good.
And killing it.
I'm so glad for them because the food is delicious and it's all good. And but meanwhile, that Atlantic thing is
The Bite Eatery.
Bite Eatery. And I thought you were going to talk about
Rosito's.
So where's this
Rosito's is a couple of places down from where the Cafe Max is, right next to a nail shop that just opened up.
The same shopping
And
center.
the people there look like they're just having a blast. And they also have, I guess, an Italian market attached to it as part of it, and that looks wonderful. So very popular. I mean, everybody's raving about Rosito's and saying their experience.
And I never even got into the Indian restaurant that you kept.
Deck and Spice. Yeah.
Isn't that on Atlantic?
No, that's a little bit off. That's off of Federal Highway in like a Walmart Plaza. It's right behind Anthony's Coal-Fired Pizza has a standing location on the street. And it used to be one of my favorite places was the Chinese drive-thru. Was in that same this has been gone for a long time. They had a Chinese drive-thru where you would call in. I would like the General Chow's chicken, pork fried rice, and whatever. By the time you drove around,
now
it was
he's
ready.
Pushing buttons again. He's talking a place that no longer exists and a like cruddy Chinese.
But it was a landmark at this place. Yeah, the food wasn't terrible. I would have to say, considering you're wondering how they made it so fast.
That's what they would put in the banner hanging out front. Defo wasn't terrible.
No, it wasn't. I mean, they were pretty successful. It's been, shut down for a while, and you wonder why nobody ever did it again. I don't know. I guess it's not, practical. To
Panda Express, my friends, they do the drive-through thing. I wouldn't go there with your money.
Yeah, it wasn't a Panda Express though. It was something else, but it was decent. I mean, the food, definitely wasn't the worst I've ever had in terms of Chinese. I had a weird thing with a Chinese restaurant last night, just real quickly. Because I called that place that said they have Chinese food now, thinking, okay, I'll get something simple here, see how it is, get some fried rice. No house mustard. I canceled the order, Mayo. I couldn't eat it. Why can't they make Chinese mustard in those packets that is even slightly representative of real Chinese mustard?
First of all, you're absolutely correct. The Chinese mustard in the packets
is inedible.
Garbage.
Yeah, it's
inedible.
It's nothing like
they
Chinese
should
mustard.
Just save the planet because those plastic pouches can choke all kinds of wildlife and birds.
Horrendous. I mean, not even close.
And it is a deal breaker. If a Chinese place doesn't offer
a house mustard,
I could live without the fortune cookies, but you got to give me the crunchy noodles and you got to give me the house mustard and the hot chili oil. If you don't have that, I'm not ordering from you.
I couldn't believe
we got a lot of business to attend to. You talk about success and quality. We're talking about Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Those guys are so on the ball. I love working with them. I love that they are now involved in sponsors.
They're doing our graphics, which I like.
Yeah, that was great.
I mean, I've been a customer there for over 30 years, and it's such a pleasure dealing with them. They're already saying, hey, let's plan the March show. We're going to be there that same Thursday. I think it's the same date as it was in February.
See if you can order the same dish again there. The stone crabs with the shrimp. Yeah.
No, this time they're already planning that we're going to be doing a pre-holiday show, both Passover and Easter.
Matzo balls they have.
Not only do they have really good matzo ball and chicken soup, they make their own gefilte fish.
People's favorite.
That I'm going to pass.
I know
people. That I'm going to pass.
You think you know gefilte fish just because of those jarred Manischewitz. Yeah. This is like it's like gourmet quality. They take some of the pike and some of the other fish that they get in there, and they make their own house-made gefilte fish. I think Joanne there on the chat line can chime in. Yeah. She's had it. I've had it. It is worthy of anybody's Passover.
But what if you don't like gefilte fish in general? I mean,
what are some of the other?
I'm sure it's better than the stuff in a jar. Obviously, it would be.
Well, then you could order. You could assemble your Seder platters there. You can get some lamb for.
I'll have the bitter. Isn't that part of the Seder?
They have all kinds of good stuff at their butcher shop, and of course for Easter, no place better to go for the lamb. I don't know if they have ham. We're going to be talking about all the different holiday options there when we get in there later in the month.
Pretty impressive meat selections, though. Pretty impressive. I mean, that meat case looked exquisite, like any butcher shop you would ever go into that you thought was outstanding. And then that was with the seafood and the chicken was outrageous. I mean, fresh as a daisy and priced really low. Great place.
The way they have everything assembled, you have the meats and the chicken. They have chicken sausage and all kinds of different products on the one side, and then you get to the seafood on the other side, the fish and the stone crab and the clams and the crabs and anything you want. It's like a fantasy land of protein for those who enjoy quality, service, and selection. Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood. Look for the big chicken on the roof right across from the Seminole Classic Casino. We love them. You could also order for curbside pickup, so you don't even have to step in the store if you're in a rush. Go online, DelawareChicken.com, to look at this week's specials and the daily catch, along with getting all the info for doing your curbside delivery. Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Quality, value, freshness. That's the Delaware way. Tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
Definitely worth the trip from anywhere, to get their great products. Absolutely fantastic. All right, more of the Lunchbox coming up in a moment.
Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Café in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. No, it's not time.
Do you believe that's a real Melanie? She sounded like she was 100. It was great.
She sounded like she was trying out for America's Got Talent and gets rejected. But
she made it big, man. She had a couple of hits.
That's surprising.
Yeah. Hey, it was good to have a good time.
I can't believe this show has breezed by. I got to put in the good word again for our friends at Visit Lauderdale. Yesterday's show was spectacular. Warren Thompson, as Sarni texted me, he says, impressive, very impressive. And he is what he's accomplished. His entrepreneurship, his restaurant group just keeps booming and growing. And he's partnered up down here with Mike Linder. And they are opening up some really good, cool places. And they've operating now Canyon Restaurant. And I was in there. And it was good getting to Willie T's. Those jumbo shrimps were pretty darn impressive too yesterday. But it's the kind of things that we come up with and Visit Lauderdale. And it's the kind of restaurants that we've become accustomed to down here. Everyone under the sun, every dish under the sun. And that's why everybody should check out the latest, more than 4,000 area restaurants. I think about 1,000 of them are on Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach now. But so much going on in greater Fort Lauderdale. That's why everybody should come on down, come one, come all. Tell all your friends and relatives this is the place to be, especially in March. It is the hottest time of year. The spring breakers are coming. It is the it's the jam-packed sports calendar. There's so much to do and so many great places to eat. That's why you should just check out the breathtaking view. I'm just
now. The hormones food, drinks, and locales.
What happened? Yeah, the chili getting to you? What happened?
Yeah, the chili finally got to me, but that's okay. The breathtaking views along the Intracoastal and the Atlantic, Las Olas Boulevard, Atlantic Boulevard, Hallandale Beach Boulevard, any boulevard you choose these days, you go down it, you're going to find some really good, interesting eats, diversity all the way, more than 70 different types of cuisine. And don't forget The drinking, they got all the great craft breweries, the Visit Lauderdale Ale Trail, the speakeasies, and the rooftop bars. A never-ending culinary and libation celebration in Greater Fort Lauderdale. So go online to visitlauderdale.com to check out the latest deals, events, and promotions. Visit lauderdale.com.
Nearly went to May's Kitchen last night, Mike Mayo. They were close. Can you believe it? May's Kitchen. One of your favorites.
How about Peking Duck House?
The Duck House is finished, I think. I can't imagine it comes back. If it does, it would be the miracle of miracles.
Well, that's a valuable property. That's some good, thing along Atlantic there, right close to Gianni's, right?
Yes,
good spot. Yeah, I mean, and they put apartments both east and west of where
we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, we're out of time. I've got one last quickie question. It was a talker on the group. This woman went to the new Cove restaurant in your place, your hangout there up in Deerfield Beach.
Tipperary Pub. And I've seen a lot of nice reviews for Seaside Subs. I'm always happy for those.
I love those. We were there.
Yeah,
remember?
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, that's great. I love Andrew and Dawn. That chicken vodka parm sub is fantastic. Wow. But the Cove restaurant reopened from the same people that operate the Oceanic restaurant, the LM restaurant.
Beach House, by the way, getting panned on Let's Eat South Florida, right next to the Oceanic. Yeah.
But a woman went there, was quoted a 45-minute to an hour wait on a Saturday.
Oh, yeah, the Cove?
She said she was there she was there like an hour and a half, and they didn't get seated. They ended up going to Patricia's in the same shopping center. But my question to you is, how long what's your maximum wait time for
an hour? Probably is about all I can tolerate. Yeah.
And if somebody quoted you an hour,
and
you would
not
stay
thrilled,
for
yeah, maybe depends on the place
and what would you do
how anxious I was to eat there.
At the end of the hour, if you still weren't seated, what do you do?
I'd leave.
Well, I don't want to say no. I'm not one. I'm a bad guy to ask. I don't get frustrated with restaurants and stuff like that unless it's
just take
really,
another
really
hit
awful.
Of the gummy or whatever.
No, but if I sign up to wait for an hour, I normally wouldn't be in a situation like that. Usually you make a reservation and they're going to seat you within 15, 20 minutes of when your reservation is. And I don't mind being sent to the bar. You're looking, there's a few empty tables, and you're saying, wait a minute, it's 7:30, I'm here. How about sitting me down at table 4? And sometimes it gets a little curious. But if they tell me it's an hour wait, I'm probably moving on. I mean, with all the choices that there are.
Yeah,
in
and the thing is, I just can't imagine how if it's a Saturday night and they tell you an hour and you don't get seat and it's an hour and a half. I can't imagine just sitting there and taking it. I would start to kind of make a rugged. But you know what? My bottom line is this. I said, it's in season now. And Friday and Saturday night, the only table where you're going to find me on a Friday or Saturday night in season is a poker table. I just don't go. I don't even go there. I know it's just going to be nothing but frustration and heartache and possible inebriation, because if you have to wait at the bar until the table.
But most places are pretty good, though. I mean, like if you go to, we were talking about Café Seville, and if you have a 7:30 reservation on a Saturday, you're probably sitting down, right around 7:30 in all likelihood. I mean, some places are just very good at accommodating people and their reservations, which should be respected. But if you just show up and they tell you it's an hour, I'm more likely, especially there. I mean, you had like a dozen other restaurants you could have gone to.
Yeah.
Right there in that same plaza.
It's, it's one of those things. People love to go out on Friday and Saturday night. I understand it. It's become ingrained in the culture. People are creatures of habit. But I'm a guy, I love to zig when people are zagging. I love going out to eat on a Tuesday night and a Wednesday night. You have a better chance.
And you got to have price wine night.
Price wine night. Half price wine night. Wine down Wednesdays, a lot of places.
A lot of bargains out there.
Most places do happy hour now during the week. They don't do it on the weekend. So actually, that's more of a affordable move if you're going to do that.
Yeah, but again, I have more leeway. Although, I got to get up early in the morning during the week. I take my daughter to school. I'm up at 6 a.m. every morning. You guys are up early, but I still don't mind going out and, hitting the town a little bit on a Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll do it at the Tipperary Pub at one of these times again.
They had a good show there last night. I didn't go, but
I heard Willie Nelson was there. Was that true?
He was at the Pompano Amphitheater.
Okay. But
who would know? I mean, I don't know. The fact that he's still alive is amazing. They should have it like going to a wax museum. Yeah, it's Willie.
He's a national treasure. I'm glad the guy's still going strong. You know? So
I
God
give him
bless
all the
him.
credit in the world. I
God
just
bless
find
him.
it odd that he's smoking weed with Don Nelson every day in Hawaii. An odd combination there, the former Celtic and Willie.
Yeah, I find it odd that Ron DeSantis is smoking dope with Donald Trump these days too.
There you go.
He's in there with the Disney people trying to figure out what part of Kansas they're going to move to.
That's it. Yeah, they're getting dopey. They're not smoking dope. They're just getting dopey.
All right, finish off that chili. We got to get out of here.
All right, we are going to get out of here. We always go a little bit longer, but I wanted to get everybody their proper time and place. And again, I didn't want to cut anybody off. Oh, Wicked Cheesesteak tomorrow. We're going to have a great time. Come on out there. It's right there, Federal Highway, across from Holy Cross Hospital, just south of Commercial Boulevard. Come on out. Say hello. You're going to get all kinds of great eats out there. And then Friday, the usual Gulfstream. And I got to give an apology. This week's winner, I said her name was Andrea Birch. That's because that was her email, but it's actually Andrea Burchett, or maybe it's pronounced Burchet. But Andrea was the winner last week, and she is down. And then we also got Jan Penovich as a past winner. She's going to be set up to eat at the 10 Palms Buffet this coming
one of these weekends. We got to set up.
We'll go.
Our listeners and viewers.
Well, let's do it this way. As soon as Andy Mann figures out the day he wants to go, we'll go haunt him and gamble with him the day that he goes to 10 Palms on whatever Sunday it is. And maybe one of us will glom his second voucher because he can't seem to find a date. So we'll see.
Nah, he'll bring a first-time starter. There's no question.
All right, everybody. Again, thanks for tuning in today. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to do the Lunchbox with my good friends and co-hosts and partners, Jeff Defo Tafaris, Mike Lubie Lubitz. We'll see you tomorrow, Wicked Cheesesteaks. And until then, remember to enjoy every sandwich.